She does have a lot of momentum. The question is, where is that momentum going to go?
A new poll has the entire nation asking the big 2028 question: is AOC going to run? Despite being hammered with questions on the steps of Congress, she's keeping her cards close to her chest, which terrifies MAGA. You can tell by her sly smile here that she's playing the long game.
Second of all, I don't know if you saw, there's a new University of New Hampshire poll showing you leading in the presidential race in New Hampshire. What are your thoughts about that?
I think there's two things. One is that, polls are polls and a horse race is a horse race. I am, of course, I think very deeply humbled and grateful to folks who participate and convey that confidence. I think my main focus is really genuinely just the midterms right now. We have to make sure that we win this majority.
The recent polling from New Hampshire is surprising, if it's to be believed, of course, but even if it's 10 points off, it would still have AOC in second place behind Pete Buttigieg. And we're a year and a half out, so there's plenty of time, which is probably why AOC is so reluctant to give us any indication either way.
I feel very, humbled by the support of everyday people. I think that, polls go up, polls go down. That's kind of part of how all of this works.
Why do you think yours are going up right now?
You'd have to ask folks in New Hampshire.
But does that change how you think about your future?
I think when I make decisions about my life, they aren't just rooted in polls. They're rooted in what people need, what is best for the country, and what is appropriate for the moment. And I think that right now, the most important thing before the country right now is for Democrats to win the midterm elections.
If she does end up running, she's looking like she's going to have a friendly Congress waiting for her. The midterms are looking like an onslaught for the GOP, and that's why MAGA is already trying to prime their audience to start up the old AOC hate train.
I got a chance to see one of her stops in Montgomery, Alabama, and I got to watch how she interacted with the crowd, and most importantly, Dana, how the crowd interacted with her. And I will definitely tell you this, she does have a lot of momentum. The question is, where is that momentum going to go? Right now, that momentum seems to be going to help primary candidates get out of primaries and into general elections. We saw it in the Pennsylvania 3rd. We're going to see some of that action in New Jersey. And we're seeing her candidates win, which makes her a contender to be leadership in the House of Representatives. It opens a door up to being president of the United States. And yes, while she does struggle with some policy depth, I do think she makes up for that based on the fact that she has galvanized a group of people who care about healthcare costs and rent and other things.
Right now, AOC is pretty much the only serious presidential candidate who's an open Democratic socialist. Bernie has officially passed the torch, Rashida Tlaib isn't likely to run, and Mamdani isn't available. He is, however, doing the next best thing, giving folks a real example of what socialism looks like.
Why take on the label of democratic socialist, knowing that it comes with a lot of other baggage? It sounds like what you're doing differently is you're being competent, ruthlessly pursuing those goals. Why take that on?
I want to be honest with people, what it is that I actually believe in. And I also think what we've seen over many decades is a fear-mongering in our politics, where anything that we disagree with portends significant change is described as if it is socialist, as if it is communist, to end the conversation there and then. And it especially happens when you're talking about something that would disproportionately benefit working people.
Is the idea being, if I can show myself to be a competent steward of the day-to-day functioning, I can take these labels that are so loaded with fear, take a little bit of that caricature out of them.
My true goal is to deliver for the people of the city. And if in the process of doing so, we can demystify so much of the fear, I welcome it. We've discussed democratic socialism as an intellectual debate. We haven't been able to point to what examples look like of it delivering for people. It's an incredibly exciting opportunity. There's a reason so many New Yorkers lost faith in city government. The political impulse of lecturing someone as to why they should believe and why they should vote, as opposed to asking yourself, why is it that they lost that faith? When you're governing, you have the opportunity to not just listen, but also then respond in action, not in word.
It is DEFCON 9 in the conservative coalition. MAGA is in the corner playing with their toenails, but the establishment Republicans can still read. And these numbers look like Trump's IQ. You can hear the panic under these anchors' voices. It's hilarious.
Only fair or poor, 76%. And that has got to have Republicans, Senate and House, concerned.
Oh, absolutely, Brett. And the truth is there's not much good news for Republicans in this whole poll we did. You know, underwater on the economy, as you showed, underwater on affordability. Those two issues are front and center for sure.
What establishment politicians, left and right, have yet to figure out is that they are already well out of touch. They've been out of sync with the rest of the nation for a while now. The aristocracy often becomes insulated in oligarchies, so they seem quite genuinely shocked when they try to make socialism sound scary and it just backfires on them.
Should some DSAers who have called themselves communist educate themselves as to what
it's a free country. It's a free country. You've got people with all sorts of affiliations in this country, and the whole point is that we don't politically, persecute people. You can, you have a bona fide, all sorts of extreme groups. It's a free. You can hold whatever views you have in this country. And that's how America works.
Folks aren't scared of some communist boogeyman. They're scared of MAGA tearing up the country. Wouldn't it be nice to have someone who isn't going to let the Republicans get away with these cheap tricks during times of fascism? Two major injustices happened in Congress. The GOP attached their SAVE Act bullshit to an insider trading bill that doesn't even stop insider trading. You'd think that's an easy solution, right? Every Democrat should just vote against it. Wrong. There are always more rotating villains to take the blow and give the Republicans just enough votes to get their way again. Democrats like Jared Moskowitz in Florida, by the way, who Oliver Larkin, a Democratic socialist, is running against. This is a prime example of why we need to get rid of these moderates. Jared Moskowitz is helping Republicans strip the rights of Americans away. On top of that, they shoved through Israel's military integration plan into the must-pass NDAA bill. If this goes through the Senate and then is signed by the dumpy dictator, then this country has truly lost its sovereignty. These people, as far as I'm concerned, are traitors. I can't believe that they have me out here agreeing with Thomas Massey again.
Section 219. And it calls for the integration of our military technology and the supply chains that produce our, high-tech military equipment to be integrated with Israel's. Now, we don't have this kind of, bilateral agreement with any other country in the world, and I would argue that we shouldn't, in order to protect our sovereignty and to protect our national secrets.
Despite Zoran not being able to arrest Netanyahu, his speech calling him a war criminal draws a clear line in the sand for Democrats. Anyone siding with a war criminal should be sent by President AOC straight to The Hague, courtesy of the ICC. Subscribe to U.S. Democratic Socialists. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.